All right. So there's been a lot of things that have come out. We have now the Afghanistan papers, uh, which basically states what many, although many of us who are not in political or business, the big business and corporation circles or the media, we already knew. Uh, but I've been watching how they're phrasing it, and the thing is that they're missing a key point, and the key point is that we should be pushing, and this is happening in the left independent media, and the thing is we should be phrasing it as they're criminals. They basically are murderers because they sent our friends, family, our aunts, uncles, children, and whatnot to go be murderers and be murdered. That's the way we should be phrasing it. But that's not how it's coming out. We should be. I mean, they're throwing around the term criminals, but let's face it. Where the cost of lives for the selfish, aggrandizing, sociopathic, psychopathic wants of the criminal few completely obliterates the idea that our country men and women are have no value. Those who serve in the military, they have no value. Their value is only in creating more wealth and chaos so that they can hold power. And that makes them criminals who are exactly like the Nazis. And then there's the. So let's move on to the what happened in Pensacola at the naval base, and the Saudi officer, Saudi Arabian military officer who shot a whole bunch of U.S. military personnel, uh, and the whole narrative and obfuscation of what happened by both Saudi Arabia and our so-called our politicians, our leadership, and our media. We already know that Saudi Arabia backed, the Saudi government backed and helped fund the people who blew up the Twin Towers and went after the Pentagon building, and the other one that plane crashed because of the people on the plane stopped it. So we already know this. So the same, it's and yet we still have Saudi Arabia as our ally, and we're still helping Saudi Arabia with the slaughter that's happening in Yemen. Uh, we're still helping Saudi Arabia go after its regional enemy, Iran, and I don't know what more to say. It's I just don't. I just can't understand this disconnect. And when I say Saudi Arabia, I'm talking about the government. I'm not talking about the people. I mean, there are bad people in Saudi Arabia, but it's not all of them. Can't be all of them. Just as in the United States, we can't. Not everybody can be racist. Not everybody can be elitist and classist. That we ignore our fellow Americans, or in the UK, or in Western Europe or Eastern Europe. Or, governments are the problem. It's the criminals who have gravitated, who have used every nefarious method to get into power, who use by placing people of wealth and putting them in control of media, and how that media is turned into propaganda. And propaganda is basically what it is lying and cheating, stealing and robbing. And you can rob people of life and liberty by feeding ignorance, feeding lies, putting out false narratives, by not reporting on vital issues of the people. The media should be all over Dow Chemicals and the other chemical industry. They should be all over the factory farmers. They should be all over corporations and political bulliers that they place in with Citizens United. The media should be covering all this sort of stuff, but they don't. They cherry pick, or they set up narratives. You know, omission is a lie when you don't talk about how you don't talk about, and you bury stories about, like Monsanto's glyphosate, or how Dow creating Teflon created a monstrosity of a nanoparticle which is causing havoc to the health of not just people, but our very nature and environment that we need. They're not covering the red tide, which is caused by allowing factory farming, which puts all sorts of nitrates and other excessive, which is what is needed, which is used and somewhat needed in farming and all other stuff. But too much of a good thing, as we know, can be bad for us. And that's what it is. Excess of what is a drastic excess of what is good is being dumped, and thereby creating red tide, thereby creating green algae blooms, thereby killing off life in the sea, in our oceans, and our lakes and rivers, and so on and so forth, and also helping to kill off vital bacteria and other viral agents that are naturally in the world, which helps to keep our ecosystem balanced and healthy. Never mind the effects that it's having on our animal and plant and other life that we need, that is vital. That is why media is fake. That is why media is propaganda. And it's also media who's, they're talking about Bernie blackout. And the thing is it's not just it's not just against. And I don't consider Bernie a politician. I consider him a a a person who speaks truth and is seeking equitable justice. He is a servant of the people. These are the sort of people we need. However, we have Nancy Pelosi's. We have Joe Manchin. We have McConnell, Mitch McConnell, and Donald Trump, and Nunes. It's ridiculous. But I was just watching a DW documentary on climate change. And this is why I don't like protests. You got Extinction Rebellion, okay? Well, I think bringing to light the danger of climate change is a great thing. Or the Women's March, I think it's a great thing that they do the Women's March for equal rights for women, which should be a no-brainer. It should be a natural thing. We should understand that whether you're a woman or a man, you should be treated equally. But the thing is, we have all these things. Even during the time of Martin Luther King, we had all these protests. And all we do is highlight the problems. We never actually give solutions or possible solutions. And that's one of the things I constantly harp on my videos. I don't just give you the problems, I try to give you possible solutions. So when I see a documentary by DW, which is Deutsche Welles, it's one of the big ones in Germany. They're one of the mainstream propaganda machine in Germany. The thing is I want attention brought to things that impact us collectively. But I also want possible solutions. So they were talking about, they interviewed a Green Party representative in Germany. And the thing is, they're talking about, whether or not to use planes. And they're talking about, that bullshit argument of, hey, you're not following through because you're flying on planes, and so on and so forth. When it should be about how innovative, and how much imagination, how much research, how much have you looked into it? How much have you looked into it to find solutions that can be applied? So I made a few comments on that video. And so like I said, you can get mass transit, you can rework mass transit so that you have a faster way of doing mass transit, like trains, which would drastically cut back on time, so that you don't need to take short flights, so that you can cover great distances in a short amount of time. So and not only that, but you could make it far more efficient, and people could travel without the whole idea of having a long train go and have to stop so many times, because that's what is time consuming, because the train has to stop so often to pick up and drop off people. So why are we doing long trains when we could have separate cars put into a system which works almost like uh, like the old industrial revolution where Ford, with the conveyor lines and so on and so forth, and what we now have with mass production ability, we could design our transportation system similar to that, but rather than having a long train, we could have shorter cars that goes on a system that utilizes below and above the ground to ground and even ground level and multiple levels, and we could have it so that it can service the entire country and get people where they're going faster with making far less frequent stops, which would conserve on energy. It would conserve. It would drastically conserve on energy. It would drastically conserve on time. So that's one of the things I point out. The other thing is we're talking about putting in carbon and other hydrocarbons. But I've talked about on my videos on how we can solve some of that and mitigate almost all of that and produce cheap, efficient energy and become energy independent and make it more equitable. So the whole point of this is we need to have people, not politicians, but people who can think critically, because and this just came to me, but it's a truth, and it's not something that really just came to me. I knew this, but it was. I used at the end of my comments, I said, thinking critically is one of the most worthy of endeavors which we should consider work. Because that's what I do. I think critically so that I can bring new ideas and information that will make our lives better. I approve of modern living, but I want modern living that will give us a pristine world where we will have prosperity, where we leave our world, our planet, better, and give us more prosperity, give us more aspirations that will take out stress, strain, worry, and allow us to focus more, and allow us to think better. That will take out division. That will make us more cohesive into a collective rather than tribal and clannish and ideologically driven. That's what I want for us. I want less conflict, and I continuously work and think on finding ways to try and mitigate that. That will give us more and more. So I got as usual. I may not be as concise and eloquent as I wish I could be. But hopefully, I made some impacts and understanding that we can no longer go by having leadership who cannot think critically, who cannot have the imagination and drive to serve and serve in such a way as to be self enlightened, so being thereby promoting self enlightenment in the rest of us, in the collective. You know, as a leader, your responsibility is to motivate those who you serve so that you can guide them to more self enlightened, natural thinking. Because that's what we need. That is the solution. If not, then we are just committing involuntary self suicide.